All righty. Good morning, everybody. A little coffee. Morning, Wednesday morning payoff pitch, 1977. Coming to you live from St. Louis at Busch Stadium, where the Cubs at 35 and 36 are taking on the St. Louis Cardinals at 38 and 36. This is a Saturday game. I've made it to July. Woohoo! That's a long way when you're playing every game. It's July 1st. These guys just battled it out, and the day before on Friday night, the Cardinals won in the 11th inning on a Jerry Mumphrey double, RBI double. So let's jump right in and get the starting lineups for these two teams. So leading it off, we got Ivan DeJesus. DeJesus is hitting 227, no homers, and 19 RBIs. DeJesus has 9 stolen bases on the season. Looking for a little bit more production out of him, especially he hit lefties at a 304 clip. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but he won't be facing a lefty today, but need to get him rolling. Batting second, we got Larry Bittner. Bittner is out in left field today. And Larry is hitting 299 with 9 homers, 15 doubles on the season, 34 RBIs. Batting third over at first base, Buckner. Buckner hitting 274 this season, 4 homers, and 20 RBIs from Bill. Batting fourth is Bobby Mercer. Mercer is hitting 285 with 20 home runs this season, 50 RBIs for Mr. Mercer. And he is out in right field. Batting fifth, we got Jerry Morales. And Jerry's hitting 285. Oh, sorry, that was Mercer. Jerry's hitting 253, 1 home run, and 26 RBIs this season. Batting sixth over at second base, we got Manny Trio. Trio's hitting 263, 4 home runs, and 23 RBIs. Batting seventh, we got Steve Olivares. Olivares is hitting 251, couple home runs, and 20 RBIs. Batting eighth is the catcher, Steve Switcher, 213 hitter, 2 homers, and 8 RBIs for Steve. He's got about 75 at-bats on the season now. And batting ninth will be the pitcher, Mike Kurko. And Kurko's hitting 206 for 30 so far this year. And he is batting ninth. Pitching for the Cardinals. I saw Larry Dierker and thought Astros. Larry Dierker is pitching today for the Cardinals. He's had a little rough start to the season here for Dierker. And Dierker is 1-3 with a 5.74 ERA for Larry. A starting lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Cardinals will lead off with Hall of Famer Lou Brock. And Brock is out in left field hitting 309, no home runs, 14 RBIs, but has 23 stolen bases on the season. This is a very fast team. Gary Templeton's batting second at shortstop. Templeton is hitting an amazing 375. Yep, you heard that right. 375, and I'm in July. So we'll see how he continues. Can he make that run for maybe a 400? So 375, 2 homers, 38 RBIs for Templeton. He also has 8 triples and 11 stolen bases. So definitely going to be probably the National League starting shortstop for the All-Star game. Batting third, we got Tony Scott out in center field. Scott also having a good season, hitting 321, 3 homers, 26 RBIs. He has 16 doubles on the season, 5 stolen bases from Scott. Batting fourth is the catcher, Ted Simmons, another good hitting player, 325 for Ted Simmons, 7 home runs and 46 RBIs for Simmons. If these guys had any pitching, they would be really tough. Batting fifth is Keith Hernandez. Hernandez hit a grand slam in the Friday night game in the first inning. Hernandez is hitting 286, 6 home runs now, 42 RBIs for Keith. Batting sixth, we have Ken Reitz. And Ken is hitting 256, 6 homers, 40 RBIs, but he also has 18 doubles this season. Batting seventh is the right fielder, Eddie Cruz or Hector Cruz. 253, 2 home runs, 24 RBIs for Hector. Batting eighth is Mike Tyson, hitting 296, 1 home run, 22 RBIs for Mike. And batting ninth is Larry Dierker, and they will be facing, Dierker's the pitcher, obviously. They will be facing Mike Krukow. And Mike, longtime Cub and Giant pitcher. So for Mike this season, he's 4-6 with a 4.26 ERA. He's been known to give up some home runs. He's given up 10. He gave up 16 that year. So he's a little above what he should be doing. But so we're getting ready to get this thing started here. I got the benches all set up. I've got the bullpens ready if needed in the order I need them. And let's kick it off with Ivan De Jesus leading it off. And try to keep an eye on the chat if I can. Hey, Dave, how you doing? Thanks for the drop of the information this morning. I definitely would like to find some source that gives you the exact transactions on the day, and the Sporting News thought you had might work, but I've looked for it for a while. Those charts are great, but they only show the active players, so you don't know if a guy was on a bench or not. So, like for instance, I've got right now with the Cubs, I've got Gross. Mitterwald hasn't been in a while, so I don't know if he went down or is hurt or what, but he's the backup catcher. Joe Wallace is another good example. Is he sitting on the bench? Is he back in the minors? The only thing you kind of guess the 25-man roster if they didn't play. But anyway, let's move on. Let me get my ball score back to where it belongs. Leading off to Jesus, and let's get this thing rolling on Wednesday morning. So De Jesus is the leadoff batter, and he gets a ballpark early here. 45, nothing there. So 32, De Jesus will pop up to second base. 1 away. Here's Larry Bettner, and he will get an in-play 73, and he will ground out the short. 2 away for Dierker, making quick run of this team. A patient and 8, but he's going to walk Bunkner. So Bunkner's on, and here's Bobby Mercer. And Mercer gets a tough and an 80, and he will fly to center. So that will end the first for the Cubs. And we will go to the bottom of the first with Lou Brock. Step into the plate here against Mike Krukow. He gets a tough and an 88. That's going to be a ground out the second. We got 1 away to start the bottom of the first. A patient and a 22 for Gary Templeton, and that's going to be a base hit. Templeton had one of those years where he stole some bases, 28, but he's a D stealer, so he's not great. But we're going to see if he can get a jump. He does. And the catcher is Swisher. Nope, he's safe. Thanks to Swisher's bad arm. Stolen base for Templeton. That is his 12th of the season. So we got a runner on second, and the Cardinals are running again. That's the only thing that keeps them into this, it seems, especially with their pitching. Tony Scott to the plate. He gets a tough and an 86, and he will ground out the short. Templeton will move to third because of his speed. And we got Ted Simmons to the plate now. And Simmons gets a tough and a 93. He will fly out the left in the inning. So the scoring threat is thwarted by Mr. Krukow, and we'll go to the second with no score. Jerry Morales to the plate. He gets an in-play 69, and he will fly to right. 1 away for Manny Trio. He gets an in-play, and at 77, he will fly to center. 2 quick outs. A patient now by Dierker to Steve Oliveros is going to be a walk. That is the second walk Dierker's given up. And on the season, in 28 1/3 innings, he has walked 13 batters and only struck out 7. So that kind of explains why he's struggled. 4 home runs facing 131 batters. I don't think that's a good ratio. All right, here's Steve Swisher, the weak hitting catcher. He gets an in-play 78, and that will end the inning. For the Cubs, we'll go to the bottom of the second, no score. Here's Stratomatic Keith Hernandez. Anybody who plays Strat knows Keith is all over that. In play, 70, grounds to short, 1 away. Here's Ken Reitz, gets an in play 47, grounds to first. So both pitchers not having any issues here. Got an in play. Ooh, we're going to the charts on the in play. We got a 50 on the charts. On an in play, batter hits a slow roller near the third base line. This is the home team. So Krukow can't pick it up and get Cruz in time. It's a single for Cruz. He's on, and here's Mike Tyson. Tyson with a patient and a 64, and he will ground out the second to end the inning. We'll go to the third. No score. Here's Mike Krukow, the pitcher. Not a power hitting pitcher, but he gets an in-play 89, and he will ground out the short. One away for DeJesus, who gets an in-play 91, and he's going to ground out the short. And we're flying along here in the third inning. We get a defensive call here, a range of the third baseman. So we get a hot shot down third where Reitz is at is a C. So 1-2-47, we got a hit, and it's an 84. So Reitz makes a great play over at third base, ends the Cub third inning. We'll go to the bottom of the third, and that'll bring up Larry Jerker, the pitcher, and he is a weak hitter. So Krukow is going to give him an in play and take care of him, getting him to ground out to third base. One away for Lou Brock. And Brock gets an in play 30. And Brock, oops, sorry, I forgot to take that off the thing there. Sorry about that. So we had it was an in play 30, and that's going to be a base hit for Brock. So the base stealing Lou Brock is on. Let's see if he can get a jump on an 8. He can, as a C with a little help from the catcher, right? Yeah, Swisher has that bad arm. He is safe. Stolen base number 24 for Lou Brock. So here's Gary Templeton. And Templeton gets a ballpark. Ooh, so maybe a little, he's been getting a lot of these lately. So it's in the ballpark. He's got it, it's in his wheelhouse, but it's smashed deep to center field, and back there to make the catch is Morales for the second out of the inning. Brock, I'm sorry, hang on, let me undo that real quick because that was the wheelhouse deep fly to center. That is going to move Brock over to third. So again, they've got to run around third. And let's see if Tony Scott can do something with this against Krukow. He gets an in play and a 74. He will not as he grounds out the second. Krukow again gets out of trouble. We'll head to the fourth. Bill Bunkner to the plate against Durker. Patient in a 68. He gets him to ground to short. Bobby Mercer to the plate. Patient in a 22, and Mercer will walk. Third base runner, sorry. He's walked a batter every inning but the third. So Mercer's on. He's a steal threat with 16 stolen bases. Let's see if he's going anywhere. He is not, just missed getting a jump. So Morales to the plate. He gets an in-play 43, and he will pop it up to the shortstop. And that is 2 away here. In the fourth, Manny Trio to the plate, and Trio gets an in-play 31. Do we have a wild pitch? We do not, and he will pop up the second. And so neither team has anything going on here as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Well, I should say the Cardinals had runner on third twice, just couldn't score. Krukow is going to give Simmons a tough and an 86, and he will ground out the short. That is 1 away for Keith Hernandez. Hernandez gets a patient and a 31. He will walk. So Hernandez is on, and Ken Reitz to the plate. He gets a patient and a 58. Well, I'm smelling the double plate. Nope, fly out the right field. Mercer's there to make the grab, and that is 2 down for Haiti Cruz. Hector. Haiti Hector was his nickname. He singled his last time up. Let's see what he does here against Krukow. He gets a patient and a 51. He will walk. So again, Krukow is getting himself in trouble with Mike Tyson coming to the plate. Tyson's a 295 hitter. He gets an in play and a 31. We do not have a wild pitch, and he is going to pop up. So 3 runners in scoring position have not scored now for the Cardinals as Kruko continues to get magically out of trouble. We'll head to the 5th, and here's Oliveros, who gets a tough and a 58, and that is going to be a ground out to third. And this is easily Larry Dierker's best start. A tough for Dierker and a 94 on Swisher is going to be a fly at the left. And there are 2 away here quickly. Go to the plate and in play 2. And there is the first hit for the Cubs. I didn't want to say anything and jinx him. And of course, he gives it up to the pitcher who doubles. Gotta love it. Ivan DeJesus is 2 to plate. An in play and a 25, and DeJesus with a base hit. Is that going to score Kruko? It does. So a single for DeJesus. No more no-hitter after Kruko's double. No more shutout after DeJesus' single, and he's lost the lead. Kruko lost it all in 2 batters. Had 2 outs here in the 5th. DeJesus has a little bit of speed. Let's see if he's going to take off. He is not. So Bittner with 2 outs will get a patient in a 47, and that's a base hit. And that's good move. DeJesus all the way to third, and we got first and third and 2 out for Bunkner. He gets an in-play 28. Oh, and he just missed a hit as he will pop up the second base. Just missed it. So Dierker finally gets out of this, but he gives up a run finally and some hits. 3 in that inning. It's 1-0, bottom of the 5th. And that'll bring up Dierker. And I'm going to go ahead and let him hit. This is a 4-game series. They just came out of an 11-inning affair and used up a lot of the bullpen. So I think that they would continue with Dierker here. That'll bring up Dierker. So Dierker gets a patient and an 18, and there you go. He walked him. So he's on with Lou Brock, who's not a good bunter. So Lou's going to swing away. Hopefully he doesn't hit into a double play here. He gets a patient and a 92, and he hits a ground ball to second. 6 and under. We got a double play, and we do. Well, I called it and should have known better, but he wasn't a good bunter either. So Templeton to the plate, 2 outs now. He gets a patient and a 26, and for Templeton, it's another base hit. He's 2 for 3 today, and you can see why he's hitting so well. So Templeton's on. Does he get a jump? He does. Does he get thrown out? He does. Swisher knocks him down, and again, it caught stealing on Templeton. And that will end the inning. We'll go to the 6th with the score. The Cubs 1, the Cardinals nothing. So here's Bobby Mercer against Dierker. He gets a defensive call here. We're looking at the range of our shortstop Templeton, who's a B. And still he can't get to it. A base hit for Bobby Mercer. So he's on for Morales. And Morales gets a patient and a 65, and he will fly out to right field where Cruz is there to make the catch. 1 away. Trio to the plate. And Trio gets an in-play 25, and that's a base hit into center field and moving Mercer all the way to third. We got runners on the corner with Steve Oliveros at the plate, and that's going to get some bullpen action up for the Cardinals. Clay Carroll's up in the bullpen. And here's Steve Oliveros, first and third. Oliveros is 0 for 1 and a walk so far today. Gets an in-play and an 84. That's a fly to center. Is it deep enough to score the runner? It's not. And we're not going to test Mercer, who's out in center. Scott, we're not going to test that. He flies out the center. The runners hold on the short fly out the center. And here's Steve Swisher to the plate. And Swisher, ballpark. Not deep enough. It's in play. But it's a base hit for Swisher. That'll score the run. And Trio's heading for third, and he's safe. So we got runners on the corner here. 2 down now for Kruko. I would pull Durker, but don't see the need against the pitcher here. Even though he doubled against him last time, I'm going to go ahead and let him pitch. It's 2-0 now Cubs, though. In play and a 7, and I should have pulled him. Base hit for Kruko. And everybody moves up 1. And it's now 3-0, and that'll be all for Larry Durker. Durker's day is done, and that will bring in Clay Carroll for the Cardinals. And for Clay this season, he's pitched a lot, 44 innings for Clay. He's 1-2 with 5 saves and a 3.07 ERA. He's pitched a lot, as is this Cardinal bullpen, because this Cardinal starting staff has been weak. All right, here's DeJesus to the plate. We got runners on first and second, Kruko on first, Swisher on second. And I would say that means there's absolutely no speed on the base paths. So we're going to go in play against Carroll here, and that's going to be a base hit, and they're going to hold the runner, Kruko, at third. Base is loaded for Larry Bittner. And Bittner in play, and he's going to get a base hit. And that ball goes into center field, and 2 runners are going to score. With 2 outs, Kruko scores easily. DeJesus over to third, and it's a 5-0 Cub lead. Here's Billy Bunkner. And Bunkner gets an in-play 41, and that will finally end the inning as he will ground out to Carroll. But in the 6th, the Cubs score 5 and give Mike Kruko a 5-0 lead here. Tony Scott to the plate. It'll be Scott, Simmons, and Hernandez here in the 6th. They got to get something going against Kruko. And they get a tough and a 79, and there will be a fly to center field where Morales is there to make the play in the first out here in the 6th. Ted Simmons to the plate. He gets a grounder to short. DeJesus is there, and that's 2 away for Hernandez. And he gets a tough and a 29, and that's strike 3. Have not had many of those. In fact, here in the 6th to end the 6th, that is Kruko's first strikeout. Not a strikeout pitcher. In fact, that's the first strikeout of the game. Wow. I can't say that that's happened much. We go to the 7th, and Bobby Mercer to the plate. Continue to face Clay Carroll here, and up 5-0. Mercer gets an in-play 72, and he will ground out to short. Templeton's there, 1 away. Here's Morales, 0 for 3 today. And he gets an in-play 86. He'll ground over to Templeton for the 2nd out of the inning. Here's Trio, who's Manny is 1 for 3 with a run scored. And Manny gets an in-play 52, and Manning will ground over to first base. Hernandez is there, and that's the 7th for the Cubs. Bottom 7, Cardinals better get it going here. Ken Reitz to the plate. And Reitz gets a wheelhouse shot here. And that ball is gone. Ken Reitz, home run. That is his 7th on this season and his 41st RBI. So Ken Reitz ends the shutout of Kruko. And that'll get the bullpen stirring for the Cubs. Paul Rochelle is up in the bullpen. Cruz to the plate, and Cruz gets an in-play 4, and that's a double. And all of a sudden here in the 7th, Kruko's having a little trouble. Tyson to the plate, and we got a defensive call here, the shortstop, DeJesus. And it's a range call, not an error call, and he's great out there, amazing range. He's an A. So 1-26, he's going to make that play, and it is a ground ball to him. Makes a nice play up the middle, but Cruz will move to third, 2 outs, and Clay Carroll will not bat, of course. So to the bench we go, and yesterday's hero, Jerry Mumphrey, will step to the plate. Mumphrey is our pinch hitter. Jerry this season, 325 hitter, no home runs, 19 RBIs, and he's got 5 stolen bases. So Mumphrey looking to get that runner in from third with 1 out. And he gets a ballpark call here, but not enough. So it's in play, and it's an 87. He will ground to short. They're going to take the out and let Cruz score. It's 5-2 now. 2 down. Here's Brock. And Brock gets an in-play 64, and that will end the inning. Flying to left. Mumphrey back down on the bench. And we need a new pitcher here in the 8th against the Cubs. And that's going to be struggling. Let's see who we have coming up here. We got switch hitter, righty, and probably a pinch hitter for Kruko. So we're going to come in with Al. The Mad Hungarian's going to come in. Al Hrabowski. And for Al is having a good year. Al's 2-4, 3.29, 11 saves. He's been part of a bullpen that they're trying to figure out who their closer is. He was the closer to start the season. Then they traded for Eastwick. Eastwick has just bombed as the closer, really. Can't put it another way. He's one of my favorite pitchers, and I'm saying he bombed. But Hrabowski's been hit by the long ball. 8 home runs this year so far. So see what will happen here is Steve Olivares, who's 0 for 2 with a walk, will step to the plate. Olivares gets an in play. And 99, that'll be a fly ball to left field, and Brock's there for 1 away. Here's Steve Swisher. And Swisher, we're going to have a defensive call. Potential error on the second baseman, Tyson. He's a 3. And he does. He boots it. And 1 base error there. So an error on Tyson. Puts a runner on here. And despite Mike Kruko being 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored, his day is done on the mound. And normally I go to Gross here, but since I went with Hrabowski, we're going to have to bring in a right-hander. It'll be Gene Kleins to the plate to pinch hit here in the 8th. So Kleins is a 242 hitter. He's hit 1 home run and a couple RBIs and 99 at-bats. So Kleins yet with an in-play of Hrabowski, base hit by Kleins. And that goes into right field, but the runner will hold. We got 2 on, 1 out, and the error has sparked the Cubs again, possibly here. Let's see. We get a tough for DeJesus and a 46 just off his strikeout, and it is doubled off the wall in left field. We're going to hold Kleins at third. Hrabowski gives up the double. That's the 3rd hit on the day for DeJesus, and it is 6-2. Cubs get 1 of those runs back. And here's Bittner, who's 2 for 4 on the day. Larry will bat despite the lefty-lefty matchup. He gets a tough and a 46, and he hits a base hit into the gap in center field. And DeJesus is going to try and they get 1 in. Klein scores. Here comes DeJesus, and DeJesus is out at home on the throw by Tony Scott. So base hit scores Kleins, but they get DeJesus at the plate, a fast runner. Nice throw by Scott. And the Cardinals have something going on here finally, but they're still down 7-2 now. Paul Ruschel will come into the game here. Oh, nope, sorry. Nope, that was only the second out. So bring up Bunkner. Going to keep Hrabowski in for the lefty-lefty matchup. He gets a tough and a 30, and there's the double by Bunkner. And it is into the gap on center field. It will score Bittner easily. And this game is now about out of reach for the Cardinals. An RBI double for Bunkner. Mercer coming to the plate. And that'll be the day for Hrabowski. We're going to bring in Buddy Schultz here to try and just keep this at a 6-run game. That is not what the Cardinals were looking for here. Buddy Schultz into the game. And Buddy, he's pitched well out of the pen. 2-0 with a 2.12 and almost 30 innings pitched. So here's Mercer. Mercer is 1 for 3 on the day with a walk. Run scored. He gets an in-play 85. That'll be a grounder to second. And mercifully, the inning is over. 8-2 now. The Cubs lead. Now we can bring in Paul Rochelle. The Rochelle brothers Rick is their starting pitcher for this team. So Paul into the game. And Paul this season, he's 1-1 with a 3.75 over 36 innings. And to the plate will be Gary Templeton, who is 2 for 3. He's not hitting 378 and is shot for 400 here, possibly. An in-play 64. He won't be getting it here as he flies it into right field where Mercer makes the grab one away. Tony Scott to the plate, who made that incredible throw home. But here it is strike 3. Russo gets him. And that is 2 away. That'll bring up Ted Simmons, who's 0 for 3 today. Simmons, a defense. An error on second baseman, possibly. No, that was Trio out there. Wait a minute. Wait. No, he did boot it. It's booted. So an error at second. And sorry, I should be keeping an eye on the chat here a little bit. Morning, Johnny. Appreciate you stopping by. And that'll bring up Keith Hernandez. So they keep the inning alive here. 2 down, man on for Keith Hernandez. And Hernandez, defensive check here. Another possible error on Trio. He's got a horrible error rate, and he boots another. So back-to-back errors for Trio. Trying to keep the Cardinals alive here. 2 on, 2 out. And here's Reitz, who's been the bright spot with a home run already today. He's 1 for 3. He gets a tough and a 53. He will single into left field. Simmons not fast enough to score. He will hold. And here comes Hector Cruz, who doubled last time he came up. He's 2 for 2. And Hector gets a wheelhouse call here, but he's not a great. Oh, that ball is gone. A 9. He's up to 10. And oh my, the air has come back to haunt. That's a grand freaking salami. Wow. A grand slam for Cruz. And oh, the air comes back to 2 airs come back to haunt the Cubs here, and it's 8-6. And here comes Tyson to the plate, and that is going to be all for Paul Rochelle. We cannot, not his fault with the 2 airs, but he did give up the Gomer, the big grand salami. And so the Cubs aren't going to play around here. They're going to bring in their closer, Bruce Sutter, now. Let's see. Do I need to make a double switch here? No. Okay. So Tyson to the plate. And he gets tough. 23 strike 3. Sutter, by the way. What a year for Sutter so far. 4-0. 0. Yep. 0.75 ERA. 15 saves on the season and 48 innings. And he just added another strikeout to it. So that will end the uprising here in the 8th. But the Cardinals are back into this, 8-6. And they are going to make a switch on the mound and see if Raleigh Eastwick can get it together here. So Eastwick into the game to pitch for the Cardinals, and he will face Morales, Trio, who made those 2 errors, and Ontiveros. Morales with a tough and an 81, and he gets the first one to fly out. Oh, yeah, for Eastwick, since coming over from the Reds, 12 and a third innings. Well, he just got a third of an innings, really 12 innings, 4.38 ERA. Not what they were thinking from Eastwick, although it matches what he did for the Cardinals with his 4.70. 0-1, 4.38. He does have 3 saves, but he has struggled, giving up 6 earned runs, 8 hits, walked 5. So that'll bring to the plate Manny Trio. And Trio will get a wheelhouse. And he homers. So Trio makes up. That ball is gone. And Trio makes up for the 2 errors and hits his 5th of the year. And the trouble for Raleigh Eastwick continues. Steve Ontiveros to the plate. Ontiveros gets an in-play 47. And he will ground back to the mound 2 away for Steve Swisher. And Swisher with a patient 97. Fly out the left, ends the inning, and we'll head to the 9th to see if Suter can shut this down. And the first thing Bruce screams to the manager for is to get Manny Trio out of the game at second base. Can't have him making more errors. So Dave Rosello, former Indian Dave Rosello, is going to come in and play second base here in the 9th. Make good changes here. Zello in at second base. All right, so we go to the 9th here. Obviously, Eastwick won't bat. Down 3 now, thanks to Raleigh giving up that home run. They're going to start with Mike Phillips as the pitch hitter here in the 9th. They'll bring in the left-hander Phillips to face Bruce Suter. A tough task here. Phillips this year 0 for 10. So Phillips is looking for his first hit of the season. And he's probably not going to get it. Yes, he is. Wow, he got a tough, 46, and he singles. So make sure that was Phillips. Yep, before that, just checking my score log here. All right, so base hit by Phillips, and it's not over yet, even against the great Bruce Suter. So here's Brock. He gets a ballpark, but it's not in the wheelhouse. We're going to be in play, and it will be a fly ball out the center where Morales is there to make the catch. And we've got the first out of the 9th. Here's Gary Templeton. Templeton with a tough and a 47. And Templeton hits one into center field, a line drive base hit. They will hold Phillips at second. 1 away, 2 on, and tying run comes to the plate, and Tony Scott. And Scott is 0 for 4 today, looking for his first hit. He gets an in play. An 80, that's going to be a fly ball to center, and it's not deep enough to move any of the runners. So 2 out, 2 on. Ted Simmons, the last chance for the Cardinals. And Simmons gets a tough and a 77. He hits it into center. Morales is there. Ball game. Cubs win. The Cubs get this victory here in St. Louis after losing a heartbreaker on Friday night in 11 innings. The winning pitcher is Kruko. And coming in to save the day was Bruce Suter. For the Cardinals, the loss goes to Larry Durker. So what a game there. The Cardinals woke up there in the 7th inning with a couple of runs and then got aided by 2 Manny Trio errors in the bottom of the 8th and ended up getting a grand slam in that inning. Who was that from? I forgot already. Sorry. Cruz hit that grand slam. Cruz nails that grand slam after a couple of errors to make it 8-6. And then Raleigh Eastwick gives up the home run in the 9th, unfortunately, to end the or to increase that lead to 9-6. So fun game. It's July baseball, so I'm getting close to the All-Star break, which is always fun, especially when you're doing a long replay like this. So again, the final from Busch Stadium is the Cubs 9 and the Cardinals 6. Yeah, Johnny says, way to go, Cubbies. Yeah, you have a great day too, Johnny. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. All right, I'm probably going to play another one today. So look for another game. I'm going to finish up this series. I've got I believe 2 more games left in this series. And then I'm going to play a couple other teams. All right, thank you.